Welcome back, Attack. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 free-to-play MMOs for this year, for 2015, and I think across all the genres for free-to-plays, we've seen so much innovation in MOBAs, in MMOs, in like card games. We've seen so many new things this past year, and hopefully, maybe, probably so, 2015 is going to be just as exciting. This is our top 10 2015 free-to-play MMOs. Starting off the list, we got a game that is probably familiar to a lot of people who watch our other top 10s, and that's going to be Albion Online. This is a hardcore sandbox MMO that is social-driven, which means player-driven economy, and essentially the main game is just guild versus guild or player versus player warfare. You are attempting to, the end game is to create entire kingdoms, own entire territories. While yes, at the start of the game you are doing menial tasks like cutting down trees, skinning foxes, really all in all you're just building up your character and building up your guild, trying to make friends and creating a giant kingdom or destroying them. Second on the list, we have MapleStory II, and keep in mind guys, even though if the game doesn't fully release this year, we should be able to at least play it, get our hands on it this year. And it's kind of hard not to want to at least try it, coming from the huge success that MapleStory was. And yes, it is notoriously grindy. MapleStory is also a very old game, but with number 2 and the change in art style direction, it being cube-based in 3D, it looks like it's really taking it into the next generation. And since it seems to be focused on a very casual kind of party game style of gameplay, it seems like this could be a great, just fun, casual MMO. And that's a little bit of some fresh air, I guess, compared to all these hardcore, very serious MMOs out there. So next up on the list, we have Echo of Soul, which admittedly is not too much of a departure from what we are accustomed to. It is still very usual in a lot of ways, but in some minute and small ways, it is kind of different. And it is those mechanical differences that make dungeoneering very fun. If you enjoy the challenges of dungeons, you're probably going to have a lot of fun with Echo of Soul. Mechanically, it reminds me a ton of World of Warcraft, but tactically in the dungeons, it reminds me of Guild Wars 2. So we're going to have to wait to see the end game to see if it actually stays in the spotlight or if it's going to fade away like so many other free-to-play MMOs. Alright, so next up on the list we have H1Z1, which is going to be an open-world sandbox survival game based around, well, zombies and player versus player. There is tons of crafting. You can do things like building different weapons, all the way up to like little forts and stuff like that. You can even set traps. It's actually pretty interesting. It is a survival game. You are trying to survive. It is kind of hardcore. If you die, you do lose your character. So keep that in mind, but this is one of the only games that you can get a truly unique experience for free. For no money down, you get a fight or flight experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. Alright guys, let's talk about Skyforge, which is in closed beta right now. Hopefully you can get in because it is a lot of fun. Open beta is the summer though. But all you need to know is that your character is trying to become a freaking god. It's a really interesting, unique premise, I have to admit. And the game has a lot of character. There's some voice acting, there's some really interesting, well, characters in the game. And overall, the game world is gorgeous. It looks good. The gameplay is also very interesting. It's tactical action combat. Not completely action combat like Dragon Nest, but not completely tactical like we see in Age of Wushu. Just know it's a dungeon diver. It doesn't really have many open world elements to it. And it's mainly focused on endgame and PvP. And if that's your niche, you're gonna love Skyforge. And next up, we have EverQuest next. It's kind of hard to see why we wouldn't put it on the list. I mean, it's from the hugely popular franchise EverQuest. It also has EverQuest Landmark as a sister game, which you can go and build different, well, worlds, different areas, dungeons, and then maybe even potentially have that stuff carry over into the main game. And if not, hey, you can always go have your friends play with you over there on your own little islands and stuff. But overall, it seems like there's a lot of depth and a lot of thought that's been put into this game. Yeah, it has a really different, I guess, artistic direction, but with that, it seems like it's going to be more action-based, and at least we can still believe that we are going to get a level of polish that we won't get in indie studios. And a new contender for our top 10 list is going to be added today, and that is Chronicles. This is an anime MMORPG sandbox game where you actually have a lot of theme park mechanics to it, except the players control said theme park mechanics. Players can create their own quests, dungeons, and areas, so I guess you can kind of compare it to EverQuest Landmark. Except this is going to be anime stylized, and I think stylistically and aesthetically this game is incredibly eye-catching and it looks gorgeous. A casual sandbox MMO? Sign me up, I think it's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully you join us there too. Okay guys, here's Lost Ark, and if you watched another one of our top 10s, you probably saw this game and were probably completely blown away because Lost Ark is looking amazing. It seems to be an action RPG that's truly realized as an MMORPG. It's got an open world explorable overworld, and it also has these really intricate and extremely awesome dungeons. Also, the class system, the abilities, the visceral combat, pretty much everything about Lost Ark, from the way it looks to how it physically plays, just seems really impactful. It seems like it's taking everything that we would want in a multiplayer dungeon diver in an action RPG, and it's taking it up another notch, another step. Now, here's a game I am terribly excited for. I fear for my health when this game comes out. Tree of Savior. This is a very, very different game. It's kind of a spiritual successor to Ragnarok, but if you look at it stylistically, it's very weird. It's got some 3D elements that are very, I guess, cartoony, but then it also has 2D elements imposed on top of that. It just seems very artistic. It seems very reminiscent of older games, but at the same time, bring that older art style into the new generation, and it looks, to me, gorgeous. It looks like a really mechanical action RPG with skill shots galore where you gotta dodge, duck, and weave, and also it has a huge amount of strategy components with its hundreds and hundreds of classes to choose from and then the abilities within them. Tree of Savior looks like a good time to me. And lastly on the list, we have Black Desert, which is a game that had so much hype. It's definitely overhyped, but don't let the dream die just yet. Wait until we get our hands on it. Black Desert looks amazing. It has a huge amount of artistic quality to it, from the different spell effects, all the different particles, and the awesomeness with that, and also the character designs and the world design. Overall, it's gorgeous. It looks amazing. I don't think anybody could ever put that down. This is probably the single best looking MMO that we've seen in a long time. But Black Desert just has a lot of really interesting combat mechanics that I think have a lot of people excited. And the PvP, the acrobaticness of the combat, even the mages are freaking like brawlers jumping around, doing explosions with their fists, and it just looks absolutely crazy. And I think that's exactly what we need in today's MMO market, let alone free-to-play. Alright, that was our top 10 2015 free-to-play MMOs, guys. What do you think about that? What games are you still playing? You know, what old free-to-play MMOs are you still playing? I know there's a bunch of you guys playing RuneScape still, but are you guys excited for the new games? Is this going to replace anything that's already on your gaming menu? Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can stay notified, and please come back, Attack. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again later.
So thanks for watching. Be sure to leave this video a like, subscribe. You can find us on Twitter. _Mark McDonald, NWC
No one wants to hear that shit.
No, they want to hear it. This is the first time they've made it all.
Maybe they do. No one wants to hear it. Everyone's like, oh, that was a really cool video. And then at the end, they're like, don't forget to subscribe. And everyone's like, oh, come on.
I tweet essentially to an open, empty room.